Why do some people rise, while others stay stuck? Why do a few live with clarity and strength, while the rest simply drift? There's a reason. And over 2,000 years ago, Aristotle knew it. He didn't give speeches. He gave truths. Not tips. Principles. Not tricks. Character. In this video, we bring you 5 of his most powerful teachings, not to impress your mind, but to transform your life. Because you are what you repeatedly do. And excellence? It's not a talent. It's a habit. Let's begin. Principle 1, excellence is a habit. Quote. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. The myth of the big moment. Many people wait for the one big day. The audition. The championship. The launch. They believe excellence is revealed in those high-pressure moments, and maybe it is. But Aristotle tells us, that moment doesn't create you. It only reveals you. Because who you are in that moment, is who you've trained to be. And you train for it, not in grand gestures, but in daily discipline. We are not defined by what we occasionally do when the spotlight is on. We are defined by what we do consistently when no one is watching. The invisible practice behind greatness. Excellence looks like a spark from the outside. But behind it is quiet repetition. A pianist repeating scales while the world sleeps. A craftsman sanding wood, again and again. A student rereading the same line until understanding blooms. Greatness isn't an act of genius. It's the accumulation of small habits, done with care, done with purpose, done every day. The story of a young samurai. In ancient Japan, a young boy trained to be a samurai. Every day, he swept the dojo, practiced footwork, polished his sword, and meditated, hours of repetition with no applause. After years, he asked his master, "When will I become great?" The old master replied, "You already are. The one who shows up daily, with discipline and humility, that is greatness. The world just hasn't seen it yet." The power of daily rituals. Your habits are your future, disguised as routine. Wake up early or press snooze, it's a vote for the person you become. Read or scroll mindlessly, another vote. Speak kindly or criticize, another. Every action is a brick. Over time, they form the house of your character. Aristotle teaches us, if you want to live excellently, don't chase motivation, build routine. Practical ways to build excellence as a habit. 1. Design your environment. Your surroundings shape your habits. Want to read more? Put books on your desk, not your phone. Want to focus? Clear your workspace. 2. Create keystone habits. Small routines that cascade into other wins, like waking up early, journaling, or exercising, they create structure and momentum. 3. Commit to a daily minimum. Don't wait for motivation. Set a floor, not a ceiling. Example, I write 100 words a day, no matter what. 4. Celebrate repetition, not perfection. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Repetition rewires identity. 5. Track progress over time. Excellence is invisible until it isn't. Keep a log. Notice how your effort compounds. Final reflection. Aristotle doesn't say, we are what we dream. He says, we are what we repeatedly do. Because excellence is not an event. It is not talent. It is not luck. It is the slow, patient shaping of your character, one choice at a time. So the next time you feel uninspired, the next time you wonder if your small efforts matter, remember this. You are not preparing for greatness. You are becoming it. And when the spotlight finally comes, you won't need to rise to the occasion. You'll simply rise to the level of your habits. Principle 2, begin with self-knowledge. Quote, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. The lost art of looking inward. In an age of constant noise, we know everything about the world. What's trending, who's winning, what's breaking. But pause and ask, do you know what you believe? What truly moves you? What scares you? What you stand for? Most people don't. They live by default, not by design. Aristotle reminds us, real wisdom begins within. Not in books. Not in opinions. But in courageous self-examination. The mirror we avoid. To know yourself sounds simple. But it's one of the hardest, most confronting acts you can do. It means asking questions we'd rather ignore. What am I avoiding? Am I living in alignment with my values, or convenience? Who am I trying to impress? And why? What do I want, really? It's easier to distract ourselves. That's why most people spend their lives busy, not awake. A story from the silence. A young executive burned out. From the outside, he had everything: status, salary, success. But inside, he was hollow. On a retreat, stripped of distractions, he was asked to sit in silence. No phone. No laptop. No role to play. Just him. At first, he hated it. But slowly, he began to notice what he hadn't in years. His anxiety. His longing. His own voice. He later said, I built a life that looked good, but it wasn't mine. That moment changed everything. Not because of what he found, but because he dared to look. The wisdom hidden in you. Self-knowledge isn't self-obsession. It's self-responsibility. Because how can you lead others, make clear decisions, or find peace, if you don't even know your own mind? When you know yourself, you stop copying others. You choose purpose over pressure. You stop blaming, and start building. It is the beginning of real power. Power not over others, but over your own path. Practices to know yourself more deeply. 1. Daily reflection. Ask, what did I do today that aligned with my values? What didn't? Write it down. Patterns will emerge. 2. Define your principles. If someone asked what you believe, could you answer in 3 clear values? Clarity gives direction. 3. Pay attention to what bothers you. Triggers reveal inner wounds. Don't dismiss them, explore them. 4. Learn to sit in silence. Even 5 minutes a day. No phone. No distraction. Just awareness of your thoughts. You'll be shocked what rises. 5. Ask why, again and again. Why do you want success? Why do you fear failure? Dig deep. The 5th why is often the truth. Final reflection. Aristotle didn't say, knowing the world is the beginning of wisdom. He said, knowing yourself. Because you can conquer empires, earn degrees, impress crowds. But if you remain a stranger to yourself, it's all for nothing. So begin not with ambition. Not with plans. But with honesty. Know your shadow. Know your gifts. Know your fears. Know your why. The better you know yourself, the less the world can shake you. And the clearer your wisdom becomes, not borrowed from others, but born from within. Principle 3, embrace the bitter patience. Quote, patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. The age of now. We live in an impatient world. We tap a screen and expect delivery in minutes. We start a project and want results tomorrow. We try something once, and if it's hard, we quit. But everything truly worthwhile in life takes time. Growth. Mastery. Healing. Character. And Aristotle, in just a few words, reminds us, patience will taste bitter now, but what it gives us will be sweeter than anything we could rush. The hidden cost of urgency. Impatience doesn't just make us restless, it makes us reckless. We force outcomes before they're ready. We compare our timeline with others and feel inadequate. We mistake discomfort for failure, and abandon the process. But wisdom knows, some seeds must stay underground for seasons before they ever bloom. And those who wait, with presence and discipline, reap the rarest fruits. A story from the workshop. There was once a Japanese craftsman who carved wooden tea bowls. Each bowl took months, not because it had to, but because he believed time was a sacred ingredient. A student once asked, "Why not carve faster?" He smiled and replied, "If I rush, the bowl is finished. But I am not." The waiting wasn't just about the bowl. It was about who he became while shaping it, the humility, the stillness, the care. That was the real art. Why patience builds the soul. Patience isn't passive. It's not about doing nothing. It's an active strength, a quiet decision to trust the process, to keep showing up even when progress is invisible. When you develop patience, you don't panic in uncertainty. You make wiser choices. You become someone who can handle more, not just achieve more. And in a world that's addicted to speed, patience becomes a superpower. How to cultivate patience in a restless world. 1. Change the frame. Don't ask, "How fast can I get this?" Ask, "Who am I becoming while I wait?" 2. Practice micro-delays. Let the elevator door close. Don't skip the ad. Take the longer walk. These small acts retrain your nervous system. 3. Track deep progress, not just visible wins. Growth often happens below the surface. Keep a patience journal, note what's improving in your mindset, not just your metrics. 4. Reflect on nature's timelines. A tree doesn't rush its roots. A baby isn't born in a week. Let nature humble you. 5. Stay in the process long enough to taste the fruit. Too many give up right before the breakthrough. Wait longer than most, and you'll see what most never will. Final reflection. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. Aristotle doesn't deny the pain of waiting. He affirms it. But he also tells us that pain has a purpose. In the waiting, you develop depth. In the stillness, you build strength. In the delay, you find devotion. Don't fear the bitterness. It is the soil from which the sweetest results grow. So if today feels slow, if the road feels long, stay. Breathe. Trust. Because patience isn't the absence of progress. It's the training ground of greatness. And the fruit, when it comes, will be worth every bitter moment. Principle 4. Build the backbone first. Quote. Courage is the first of human qualities because it is the quality which guarantees the others. The quality that holds all others. What good is wisdom if you're too afraid to speak it? What good is love if you're too afraid to express it? What good is integrity if you're too afraid to stand alone? Aristotle goes straight to the heart of it. Courage is not just one virtue among many, it is the gatekeeper. Without it, the others fall silent. In a world of uncertainty, opinions, and pressure, courage is the quality that makes your values real. The story of the hidden metal. In a dusty attic in Eastern Europe, a young man found an old box of his grandfather's things. Among the books and tools was a tarnished medal. When he asked his father about it, the old man whispered, "That was from the war. Your grandfather refused to sign a lie that could have saved him. He chose prison over betrayal." "But he never told anyone?" the boy asked. "No. Because for him, courage wasn't for display. It was his quiet standard. The courage to live honestly. Courage isn't always grand or loud. It doesn't always mean running into danger or shouting against injustice. Sometimes courage is saying no when it's easier to say yes. Starting over at 40. Apologizing first. Being vulnerable in a hardened world. Staying true to your principles when everyone else is bending theirs. Without courage, discipline collapses under pressure. Wisdom gets buried by fear. Compassion retreats into silence. Courage gives your values a spine, a voice, a life. Practices to strengthen courage. 1. Tell the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Whether in a meeting, a friendship, or to yourself, speak what's real. Even gently. Even when your voice shakes. 2. Do one hard thing daily. Train your will like a muscle. From cold showers to difficult conversations, each act of bravery builds inner steel. 3. Reflect on your line in the sand. What are you not willing to compromise? Name it. Own it. Prepare to protect it. 4. Read stories of quiet heroes. Let biographies of real courage, not fame, not success, shape your imagination of what strength looks like. 5. Lead yourself first. The bravest thing is often not leading others, but leading yourself, away from comfort, into growth. Final reflection. Aristotle calls courage the first of human qualities, for a reason. Because without it, your best intentions remain trapped inside you. Your dreams stay dreams. Your integrity stays hidden. Your wisdom stays locked. Courage is what opens the door and steps through it. And here's the truth. You don't need to be fearless. You need to be willing. To feel fear, and still speak. To feel doubt, and still act. To feel alone, and still stand. Because the world doesn't just need more talent. It needs more courage. And that begins with you. Principle 5, love the craft, master the work. Quote. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Why perfection isn't a skill, it's a state of heart. We often chase perfection like a prize. Study harder. Work longer. Push more. But Aristotle turns that idea upside down. He says, perfection doesn't come from pressure. It comes from pleasure. Not shallow fun. Not temporary thrills. But a deep love for the craft. A joy in the doing itself. Because when you find joy in the process, the care, the detail, the rhythm, excellence becomes inevitable. A story from the bakery. There was once a humble baker in a small village in Tuscany. Every morning before dawn, he lit the fire, mixed the dough, shaped every loaf by hand. His bread wasn't just good, it was art. When a wealthy traveler offered to buy his bakery and expand it into a chain, the baker smiled and said, "I don't bake for profit. I bake because the work itself makes me feel whole." That's what Aristotle means. When the work becomes your joy, you no longer chase perfection, it flows from you. The difference between duty and devotion. Many people work to escape work. They count down the hours. They chase the weekend. And so, the work becomes hollow. Forced. Drained. But the ones who rise, the ones who leave a mark, are those who pour themselves into the task. Because they don't just do the job. They feel it. They respect it. They take pleasure in every detail, even the unseen ones. And that is where mastery is born. How to cultivate joy in the work. 1. Reconnect with purpose. Ask yourself, why did I choose this? Who do I serve through this? Purpose brings passion to ordinary tasks. 2. Slow down for craftsmanship. Don't rush. Take time to notice details, the stroke of a brush, the flow of a sentence, the weight of a decision. Let it mean something. 3. Honor the routine. Make the repetition sacred. Turn your daily task into a ritual of excellence. 4. Detach from external praise. Work for the satisfaction of the process, not the applause. It's the love of the doing that sharpens your edge. 5. Reflect on growth, not just goals. Ask, am I better than yesterday? When growth is the reward, the grind becomes a joy. Final reflection. Aristotle doesn't say, pleasure is the reward of good work. He says, pleasure in the work creates good work. Because when you truly love the craft, you stay longer. You think deeper. You give more. You don't need to force perfection. It becomes the natural outcome of devotion. So whether you write, teach, build, serve, or lead, don't just do it to get it done. Do it with care. With presence. With joy. Because the world doesn't need more people just getting through their jobs. It needs more people who come alive in their work. And through it, awaken something sacred in others. These 5 truths from Aristotle are not just quotes. They are calls to action. To reflect. To choose better. To become more. Now it's your turn. Speech balloon. Which of these lessons spoke to you the most? The power of habit? The courage to face fear? The discipline of patience? Or maybe, you're on your own journey of self-knowledge. Share your thoughts in the comments, we read every one. And if this video sparked something inside you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to True Grit Mind, where ancient wisdom lights the path for modern life. Until next time. Live with strength. Live with clarity. Live with true grit.